Hi there, I am back with another biblical truth through video games. Last video, I explained the premise of what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, so I'm not going to repeat myself here. I'm just going to dive right in. So, the game I'm going to talk about today is The Amazing Spider Man 2, based on the movie of the same name, the Andrew Garfield, Emma Stone, Jamie Foxx movie. So in this game, as you might imagine, you're Spider-Man, web slinging around New York City, and obviously you're in your Spidey costume. But one thing that this game does, which I love when games do this, is as you're progressing through the game, you can unlock these alternate costumes. And once you unlock a costume, you can read the description. Typically, what happens is these costumes originate throughout the Spider-Man comic books, and so you can read the description, which shows exactly where it comes from. And so I was playing the game the other day, and I unlocked the Spider Carnage costume. And for those that don't know, Carnage is one of Spider-Man's villains, and he basically looks like a monstrous version of Spider-Man. And so that's what this costume does. You put this costume on, and you almost look like a monster, which is a sharp contrast to what Spider-Man is supposed to be. Obviously, very heroic as we know him, and yeah, with this costume, it looks like you're a monster web slinging around. And I found that interesting, but again, that's what costumes do. It turns you into something, or you at least look like you're something that you're not. It's a disguise. And so as I was playing this game and looking at this, I took some time to reflect and said, are there any disguises that I wear in real life? What are my alternate costumes, if you will? And a couple kind of jumped out at me. I have a church alternate costume, and I'm not talking about what I wear to church as much as, how I try to make others view me. And for instance, on a Sunday morning, a lot of times it can be very stressful. I'm getting up early, so I'm tired. I'm trying to get the kids up. The kids don't want to get up. They're yelling at me. I'm yelling at them. Everyone's yelling at each other, and it's very stressful. And so a lot of times, by the time I get to church, I'm just like at my limit, just stressed out. And yet, as soon as I walk in the door, I just put on this big smile, like everything's not a care in the world, and I'm just not really being honest with how I'm feeling. I'm not asking people to pray. I'm not seeking help. I'm just pretending that everything's okay. And so it's really like a costume that I'm putting on, so people perceive me the way I want them to perceive me, not the way I actually am. And a second costume that jumped out is my Facebook or my social media costume, where I'm putting up pictures, again, smiling. It looks like everything's great, everything's happy. And what you're not seeing from those photos is the half hour it took to get just that fraction of a second where everyone's smiling and looking happy. You're not seeing the stress behind trying to get that picture. And that's typical of social media. You're trying to just display your best persona. But really, it's a costume because it's not, oftentimes doesn't reflect reality. So those are the alternate costumes that really jumped out at me. And as I was thinking about this, one of the verses that I really love jumped out at me. In Matthew 23, 27, 28, Jesus talks about what he thinks of people that try to pretend that they are something they're not. I'm going to read the verse to you right now. So again, that's Matthew 23, 27 to 28. It says, "Woe to you, teachers of the law and Pharisees, you hypocrites! You are like whitewashed tombs, which look beautiful on the outside, but on the inside are full of the bones of the dead and everything unclean. In the same way, on the outside you appear to people as righteous, but on the inside you are full of hypocrisy and wickedness." This is a really strong verse comparing how you present yourself, trying to present yourself perfect, and where Jesus is saying on the inside you're really like rotting corpses. And that really struck me, and it just seems like a very strong way of putting it. But on the same token, these Pharisees are just trying to be so perfect, trying to be better than people, or at least look that they're better than people, and they're really just on the inside they're just rotten. So I just took time to reflect on that, and I'm not going to compare myself to rotting corpses, but at the same time, a little transparency at church, just being honest about how I'm feeling, what I'm dealing with throughout the week, would be a welcome change, I think. So, God really laid that on my heart, so I wanted to share that with you guys. And as always, let me know what you think. If if that really resonated with you, let me know. If you have any experiences playing Amazing Spider-Man 2, the game, let me know. And next week, I am going to talk about a biblical truth that was revealed to me through the game Lightning Returns, Final Fantasy 13. So thanks for listening, and I will talk to you later.